seen regarding the arrivals now concluding. All leaders are present. Remember, viewers, the summit is going to take place tomorrow. That's when the leaders will be meeting. Meanwhile, on the sidelines, several bilaterals are taking place. And we're now also learning that the Indian Prime Minister is holding a meeting with Kai Chi, who is the Secretary of the Secretariat of the Chinese Communist Party. So that is the latest that we're tracking from the ground. I'd like to introduce the guests joining us. We're being joined by Mr. Gilbert Doctorow. He's an international relations and Russian affairs expert. He's joining us from Brussels in Belgium. We also have with us Mr. Shyam Batra. He's a former mayoral candidate for London, also joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much to both guests for taking our time speaking with us on NewsX World. I'd like to go across to Mr. Doctorow. Russian President Vladimir Putin is in China. He is slated to meet Xi Jinping very, very shortly. He will also be meeting with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. All of this is coming as there is a mounting pressure over President Putin that is being placed by the United States of America. Trump has recently mooted a trilateral. We've seen that the Ukrainian administration under President Zelensky is open to this meeting taking place. Budapest was in fact considered as one location. Meanwhile, Kremlin so far has remained rather cold in its response. We've seen recent strikes take place in Kiev as well. Do you think such a meeting could catalyze in the near future?
It is improbable that a meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky will take place in the near future because the Ukrainians have resolutely rejected the issue, the solution to the issue of territorial demarcation that Mr. Trump himself said would be the main subject of their getting together. The Ukrainians have said firmly they will not cede any territory, and the Russians have insisted that that has to take place if there will be a durable peace. Therefore, under present conditions, such a meeting is not going to take place.
All right. I'd also like to go across to Mr. Batra. Interesting developments had taken place late last evening. President Zelensky had spoken to the Indian Prime Minister via a phone call. He'd highlighted the loss of lives that had taken place in Ukraine, in Kiev. 23 civilians had lost their lives in a Russian strike. The Indian Prime Minister expressed condolences, but in Zelensky's message, he'd highlighted that Prime Minister Modi will be taking this up with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in their bilateral meeting tomorrow. Is this going to happen? Do you expect this to take place?
Well, I'm hoping so. But the thing is that I've always said that the war in Ukraine and Russia must be stopped. If it doesn't get stopped, there's going to be catastrophes across the globe. A lot of countries are going to start their own little things. And the way the actions have been handled by the US as well, they've used a guy for negotiations who has no experience, has never been in this position. How the hell can he settle a war with Russia and Zelensky? They're both coming to separate tables every day. So whilst Putin has met Trump, his tariffs and everything else are shocking the nations across the globe. I mean, it is going to lead to poverty, not prosperity. And this war must be stopped. I'm happy to communicate and negotiate. When you're in these type of negotiations, even if India now gets involved, or China, or Africa, or whoever, this war must be stopped. There are a lot of civilians that are dying for no reason on the front line. Bombs are happening whilst negotiations are being taken place. The first thing you've got to do is stop all of this stuff and start moving to a table where both parties, with a sensible team, can sit around and fix this problem. It is not going to get fixed. The way the world is handling things and the way that the leaders are handling the Ukraine and Russia position is really bad. I think Putin is a smart man, an intelligent man. He knows what he's doing. But if he doesn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. He's going to continue his world. And Zelensky is sitting back far away, going to 100 different places and saying, help me, I need tools, I need this, I want to bomb them. There needs to be proper communication, proper negotiations about what is happening. And it's not going on. It's never going to stop. This is going to continue on, and other countries are going to get frustrated. And because this war is stopping a lot of things around the world, our oil, gas, water, Russia has a great handle on it. Nobody can get to the Western world. Putin is going to start fighting now with the Western world because of sanctions and everything else. Our country, being a Western nation, is not helping matters. Our Prime Minister is not using his methods for peace and negotiations. We need prosperity, not poverty. And the only way to do that is to stop this war.
Absolutely. I'd like to come back to Mr. Dr. Rao. Speaking of the SCO itself, the relevance of the organization has often been questioned over the years, especially due to frictions between two of the countries, India and China. However, there have been some recent developments in the international geopolitical arena and the economic arena as well. The US is adopting a more protectionist stance as far as its economy is concerned. It's also been slapping steep tariffs against other countries. India and China, in the meantime, have reached a border truce. There have been talks that have taken place today, focusing on greater access to each other's markets as well. So in light of all of these developments, where do you see the organization and its relevance heading to next?
There's a lot of confusion in the public mind as what is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization? How does it differ from the G7? How does it differ from BRICS? And let me make it clear, the 30-year history of the SCO has been focused, as stated in its original founding documents, on regional security. It is an East Asian security organization that is gradually broadening its agenda. I think the imposition of these tariffs by Mr. Trump has heightened the interest within the SCO members on trade and economic issues, whereas, as I say, the basic papers of that organization are, strictly speaking, security. It started out as an organization to combat terrorism, particularly having in mind Islamic fundamentalism, which was rife when the organization was founded. It is, in this sense, a very distinct organization from BRICS, which was founded and remains primarily a global, not a regional, but a global organization for coordination of economic interests and trade. So there is a certain convergence in the nature of these major organizations, but their distinct basic description remains unconfused and unfuddled. Therefore, it is astonishing that so much attention is being given in this summit to trade relations, and that was all brought about by the disruption that Mr. Trump introduced. We have spoken a lot about who is there in China, in Tianjin, and will be in Beijing on the 1st of September to celebrate this parade for commemorating the end of World War II in the Pacific region. No one is talking about who isn't there. And who isn't there most prominently so far, unless there is a remarkable surprise, is Mr. Trump. And for that matter, Mr. Starmer. Let us remember who among the world powers contributed heavily to the defeat of Japan in the rollback of Japan in the Pacific region in World War II. The British fought heavily. Indians under British command fought heavily. Of course, the United States played a very big role in taking back island after island in the Pacific from the Japanese invaders and occupiers. These countries are not present in Beijing, and that is striking and deserves comment. It is a sad testimony of the way that the world has has divided, and former allies are presently adversaries. I think that what Mr. Trump is doing in the chaos that he is spreading is intentional disruption of the world order on the premise that there will be emergence of a new world order, probably along the lines that the attendees in China would like to see, which is multipolarity. That is a speculation. We'll see if it plays out.
All right, I'd like to go back across to Mr. Batra. Speaking about Donald Trump itself, there are a lot of critics who've come out, especially with regards to Trump's actions with India, the tariffs that Trump has imposed. They state that 25 years of bipartisan effort which was made to elevate India-US ties is now, as they claim, practically down the drain. They state that Trump himself was involved in his first term in order to elevate ties. His personal rapport with Modi also worked in that favor. Reports have come in from American publications such as the New York Times highlighting that Trump might not make it to the Quad Summit this year. This is interesting because the Quad primarily is there to combat Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific at large. We've seen recent statements made by Japan as well as Australia reaffirming their support for this grouping. So how does this augur for India-US ties in the long run, in your assessment?
Well, obviously, tariffs, you can call them taxes, external taxes. They are going to, I think they are a wrong tax to impose on countries. I think if President Trump had used a different tactic, or his advisors had advised him that tariffs are the wrong thing to impose in certain countries, especially with the way the world is right now, things have slowed down across the globe a lot. And with these taxes, business is going to go down. The GDP is going to drop dramatically. We can see in our own country now with certain things that are being imposed upon us, that our industries are slowing down. You know, there are a lot of countries, at the end of the day, who does it impose on? It imposes on the people in the country as well, when they've got to buy things and import goods, etc., and export. But India and America, I thought they were supposed to have an amazing relationship over this. What's happened is it's been more of the negative side, because I believe that Trump has now imposed almost 100% on quite a lot of areas in India for goods, etc., to be supplied and delivered, etc., and vice versa. But, you know, it's not a tit for tat game. We've got to all work together in a system. After all, we are all human beings. I'm getting a bit, finding it a bit weird here that, are we aliens in each country that we have to be forced to do certain things? Surely the idea is to have that $1 or £1 circulated across the globe everywhere so people can enjoy it. Don't forget, we've got a lot of poverty in the world. I'm also International Human Rights Chairman in Africa. Whilst Africa remains very silent, it's getting on with its own world. If it's going to get hit with those heavy taxes and tariffs, etc., they're not going to play ball. They are always neutral and out of the way. Whereas India is a formidable player, a very, very strong player. Its middle classes are huge, and it has an immense power. It can create its own things, but it's sometimes easier to go to Apple and get a nice iPhone. But having 100% tariffs is suicide, I think. I think President Trump must really look at the tariff situation and try and fix this problem, bring it down lower. I mean, his first term after a long time coming back into the presidency. I would have thought that he would have eased things in, to blend things in. Yes, he wants to fix America, but what about the rest of the world? You can't be a world leader in the rest of the world and still impose your tariffs across the globe. I think it's a hiding to nothing, and India will take its own stance. It has China, it has Russia. Then they are also in the BRICS community. I think it's a great idea that they will end up doing their own products and own things to avoid these type of tariffs. Certainly, Putin doesn't agree with this, and even by bringing him out into the open, nothing happened. So I think the double tariffs is a bad idea.
Indeed, as you've put it, India's position, especially as a large market, has been recognized by the UK as well recently. The FTA is a testament to that. I'd like to go back across to Mr. Dr. Rao. I'd like to digress a little bit here as well, go back to Putin. He's going to be holding an interesting meeting with the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian. We've recently seen talks between the E3 powers, Britain, France and Germany, break down. This has come as the E3 is now threatening sanctions against Iran over its nuclear projects. The UN as well has backed this ultimatum that has been issued. How do you think then Iran and its allies will proceed from here?
The imposition of what's called a snapback provision in the original agreement going back to 2015 is being led, as you've mentioned, by three European powers. They are the UK, France, and Germany. It is coincidental that these are the ringleaders in Europe of the hardline fight in Russia to the last Ukrainian position, meaning they are all against a peace in the Ukraine-Russia war. And unfortunately for Iran, it is a casualty of the Ukraine war, insofar as these three powers are hoping to curry favor with Mr. Trump by following him in his lead in renewing, extending punishment of Iran over its nuclear program or alleged nuclear program. So it is very appropriate that Mr. Putin meet with Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, to discuss what they can do in common. I believe also they have an interest in discussing these matters with India. India is, as you have noted, a major purchaser of Russian oil. I imagine that India would be in a position to extend and enlarge its purchases of Iranian oil as a common response to the attack on Iran and its economic interests by the US-led troika in Europe of Britain, France, and Germany. Certainly, they will be consulting, as Putin and Pezeshkian will be consulting on what to do to alleviate the pain that snapback will expose Iran to if the severe sanctions on its economic activities, and on what they can do in common and with other BRICS members to make the United States and its European friends pay a price for this unjustified and cruel imposition of economic hardship on Iran.
All right, Mr. Dr. Rao, I'd like to thank you for taking out time speaking to us on NewsX World. I request Mr. Batra to stay back with us as we track some further updates coming in. International political leaders are praising the SCO's steady rise as a model for multilateral cooperation. Leaders have stated that the group has pioneered a path of peaceful development, ensuring shared security, prosperity and growth for all members. Officials from Kyrgyzstan have hailed China's leadership for injecting new momentum into regional collaboration. Meanwhile, experts say that the SCO's success stems from its core value system, what's known as the Shanghai spirit, emphasizing mutual trust, benefit and respect. And with growing alignment to China's Belt and Road initiatives, the SCO's global appeal is getting stronger, is what these experts are claiming. International political leaders are praising the SCO's steady rise. They've stated, in fact, that this is bringing about further collaboration. Let's in fact listen in to what they've said.
Уже показала себя как очень эффективная площадка, на которой столько много государств могут обсуждать, могут встречаться, могут говорить, находить точки соприкосновения, и которые будут взаимоприемлемы и выгодны для всех. Это, я думаю, что один из примеров того, как можно и как нужно сотрудничать всем организациям.
В рамках председательства этого года, я думаю, будут дан доп. Импульс взаимодействию между странами. А для Кыргызстана это вдвойне важно, потому что у нас предстоит председательство. Да?
Главным достижением Шанхайской организации сотрудничества является его генетический код. Это шанхайский дух, который подразумевает взаимное уважение, взаимное доверие, равенство, консультации, уважение к многообразию культур и стремление к совместному развитию. Вот эти вот 6 принципов, основополагающих принципов организации, являются полюсом притяжения для других стран. С каждым годом растет число государств, готовых присоединиться к этой организации.
Shifting focus away from the SCO Summit.